Talking. What flight we in? What radio on SRS are we gonna?
We're radio 5-1. Back in 11 and 75, right? Or it's 12 and 75. I'll be 12, you're gonna be 75.
Okay.
Region 5x5. Dragon 1-1 checking in on 288.
Dragon 2-1, Charger 1-2, or 1-1, Region Lima Charlie.
So I think for this guys, Chippy 1-1, you guys stay with Chippy 2-1, and just one flight stays behind and watches, and then the other flight, then you guys can swap positions.
Yeah, we could also mix it up. There's nothing saying that it's by rule of law. It's just that we have our tack ends and all set, but you know.
Yeah.
And also because Stud, you and Flo, y'all have the most experience with this too. We may have questions for you.
Ready to answer anything you want.
Here, you got your tack in set.
Awesome.
Like 1-4.
To me, mission success in this training is just having the spatial awareness and be able to do turns while keeping your spread. And once we can do that, then we can move into the more advanced.
Yeah, roger that.
Roger. You should see me.
Negative, I got no reading right now.
Alright, so you're 77, correct? Do you have AA on? Alright, I have 0.0 on the HSI right now. So I'm picking you up.
Copy, it may work once we get airborne.
Yeah, try and turn it off and on. We had to do that earlier.
Yeah, there it goes. Dragon 1-2 is good jet, ready for taxi.
Dragon 1-1 is good jet, ready for taxi as well. Dragonflight's ready for taxi. It's runway, I think it's 040.
03 left or right?
03 left, you're correct. Actually, you know what? Dragonflight will go behind you guys, so Chippy 1-1 you guys take the runway. Charger flight, you guys. We'll stay with you, Charger flight.
Charger flight, understood. Should be running at 7, copy. Yeah, Chippy flight 2B11's taxi at runway 03 left. And Charger flight will begin taxi out to 03 left as well.
Is there a main channel we're using, or just using this?
man that shit.
Dragonfly taxi to runway 03 left.
Wait for frags, you can go right after Falcon.
GP22 is taxi to catch up with GP21.
Dragon 1-2 rolling.
And guys, just trying to do a section takeoff, but line up as one entire flight. So as you take off, but just do intervals, like a 5-second interval or a 7-second.
Sure.
Alright, Dragon 1-2 interval behind these guys.
What's your copies? Which one, what's your bird?
I should be just directly in front of you. I think I'm 301, I'm not sure.
Charger flight will hold on Fox.
Alright, back at 302.
Oh, you got 301 in front of me.
Yeah, that would be me then.
Yeah, you just did a left turn.
Take it back. GP22 taking that.
Should be free. Be right behind you.
It's kind of cool seeing all these birds getting ready to take off.
Yeah, it almost looks like we know what we're doing.
And then for the section takeoff, I would just do, you know, slowly increase the full afterburner and then cut power to like 275 after takeoff. And just fly northwest to the training area.
Falcon, I need like 45 seconds.
Yeah, roger that. Chippy 4 has to alleviate himself. We're going to take 4 or 5 seconds. Charter flight's got to go to 3, right?
Yeah, charter flight just holds shorter runway and we'll taxi on after they take off.
After that.
Yeah, we'll let them head in the direction they want to go to so we're not grounding the sky.
Did you already get a waypoint put on your HSI?
4's back, did you?
No, I didn't put any waypoints. This is VFR.
Roger. Fred, you good?
Is Recluse back yet?
Yeah, dude, I'm back. We're good. Back. Got a good jet. I'm ready. I think we're waiting on frags.
No, Brag's been here the whole time. Flight departing 03 left, spin up 80%.
Charger flight, line up and wait.
Ellis Tower, Dragon Flight taking active 03 left for VFR departures on north. Line up and wait. Alright, I'm gonna take left side, you take right. And from this point on, use Dragon 1-2.
Dragon 1-2. Left turn, heading 300.
Dragon Flight in position. Dragon Flight, spool them up. 80%.
Alright, Charger 1-1, spool them up. Two is good job.
One is good job.
3, 2, 1, rock.
Three, 2, 1, brakes off. Two 275. Alright, going up to 300 to catch him. And go left echelon. Slowing to 275. Charger Flight, Dragon 1-1 saddle.
Charger Flight, go ahead.
Dragon 1-1 saddle behind you.
Roger that. I'm leveling off at 6-1 and be turning to 051.
Alright, you want to check speed?
Yep. We'll bump it up to 300.
Dragon Flight 300.
300.
We'll go 310 just to catch up.
And turn 051.
Say again.
051.
Say again, I still didn't understand.
I was at charger flight, sorry.
Okay.
Feels so good to be in Nevada.
Say it.
I like flying in Nevada.
I love it.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Me and Recluse, we all agree this is a beautiful map.
It's good for training too.
Yeah, this is my first time like really flying it, and it's really awesome.
It's exactly what Iraq looks like, so.
Only friendlier.
Well, clearly someone hasn't been stuck out in this desert before.
Alright, Dragon 1-2 slowed at 275 knots.
Oh, I have, believe it or not. Drunk.
275 coming.
We're going to follow behind them.
Just
Looks
go to
like they don't
Fallon all the
practice
time.
it. We're going to do cruise turns, but we'll let these guys, kind of watch these guys a little bit.
I'm not even seeing you on the tack end. I can stick my...
Alright, so Dragon 1-2, you're looking pretty good on cruise, maybe a little bit closer.
Do you have X-ray or Yankee?
You had a good angle, you just get a little bit
Air to
closer.
air, X-ray, and tack end is on my...
300.
Ah, now I got it. Point 1.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn right. We're going to do a 90 degrees turn right because I think these
I'm
guys want to
looking.
do some combat spread stuff.
Wing turn or in-place turn?
No, we're just going to do cruise turns.
Well, we want to start with the basics. Let's go with the cruise turns.
Alright, so we're going to come to 130, so Dragon Flight heading 130, and you're going to switch sides.
Okay, we'll just do turns both right and left. So basically, what you're going to do, your lead, we'll swap, but we'll let you start off as lead. That's where you're coming, I'm sure.
Nice.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to, let's see, we're at 290. Let's go with the 4 poles. Let's turn left to
Alright, see if you can get a little bit tighter on that. How about, I'll let you take lead, I'm going to drop back, so when we get to heading 130,
let's just
and I'll kind of
get there,
demonstrate
and then we'll start then. Let's just go ahead and do a turn together here.
Copy. I'm going to kill this primary radio.
Yeah, that's fine. Be advised, you guys are broadcasting on primary.
I need these easy turn practices too anyway.
Hey, can you guys use your internals?
Okay, what we can do here, we're coming in 270. What we'll do is we'll just use the 4 points of the compass.
Charge of flight, let's switch to 305.
you a call is to turn, like, say, we're going to turn right to 360. And then I'll respond 2, and when I say 2, that's when you
Taking flight
execute
305. Come.
Treasure 112.
Dragon 11 checking in.
So much quieter.
Yeah. Alright, we're letting you guys, it looks like you're doing combat or combat spread right now, so we're going to do some cruise turns first.
Sounds good. We're combat spread. We just did our G-warm, and we'll start moving into some of the other maneuvers.
Roger. Yeah, we kind of needed to give spacing anyway, so you guys enjoy your flight. We'll see you back on the ground. Alright, Dragon 12, come left heading 040, and I'll maintain position behind you and kind of show you a little bit. So just turn left at 30-degree bank, and I'll slide underneath you. I'm going to do a shallower turn because you're coming into me, and then as you pass over me, I'll steepen my bank and stay on your lane. And so I'll say, so you'll say Dragon Flight left 040, and don't make your turn until I say Dragon 12. Did you copy that?
Negative, I think we were stepping on each other.
Oh, sorry. So you'll call out Dragon Flight 040, and you don't execute the turn until I say Dragon 12.
Yeah, copy. Dragonfly 040, cruise turn.
Dragon 12.
Dragonfly, go.
So that's how close I was pretty much the whole time. Did you get to see that?
Yeah, copy. On the first turn, I don't know why. I thought we were moving out to spread. I guess I got confused. But solid copy, I got you.
Alright, so I'm going to speed up to 300. We'll maintain 300. I'll take lead.
12.
And maintaining 040. Alright, we're going to cruise a little bit in front of this mountain, and we're going to make a left-hand turn. Dragonflight, climb to Angel's 9. Dragonflight, slowly leveling out on Adrian's line. Dragonflight, left 310.
310, Dragon 12.
Leveling 310. And just so we don't have to call out the leveling, it's about 5 degrees before our heading. We'll just start a level. Nicely done, by the way. Dragonflight, right, 040.
040, Dragon 12. Fell back a little on that one.
No worries, we'll try that again. Yeah, the trick is when you make the cross on there, that's when you adjust. So I'm turning into you, so you're turning 10 degrees, and then as I go by you, you have to adjust to stay with me. So you have to do 30 degrees or 45 degrees and just kind of try and stay with me. So as soon as you see me start to cross your nose, that's when you start to adjust. So we'll come left, 310.
310, Dragon 12.
Now you're on the outside of the turn, so you got to increase your speed a little bit. How was it that time?
Oh, that one was fine. I don't know why, but in my brain I have more trouble with right-hand turns than left-hand turns. It's just one of those things, I suppose.
Gotcha. Okay, so now we're practicing turns away. So that means I'm going to stay 30, but you're going to go 60. Alright? And then you're, as you cross, I cross in front of your nose, then you're going to, you know, reduce your bank. Does that make sense?
Negative. So, what's our ending formation?
So you're going to be on my left side, but I'm going to be turning away from you.
Okay, I got you. Same
So
thing.
I'm going to do 30 degrees, but you're going to go to like 45 to 60 degrees.
Copy, I'm tracking.
Alright, so we're going to come left to 220.
220, Dragon. 1.
I shall out my brake when you got a little close there. Leveling out. Sorry about that. I was watching you a little bit. We'll let you reform. Alright, how did you feel on that one? You want to try that again?
Yeah, it had a little issue with deconfliction. I think I was a little bit too acute on that angle. Yeah, let me just get back in form here and then we can try it again.
Okay, yeah, you want to make sure you get behind, get to the side, so you don't, like, give yourself extra space and then lessen your bank and come back towards me.
Alright, 230.
Alright. Dragon flight, right, 310.
310, Dragon 1.
How was that? Better?
Yeah, that felt better.
You like right turns better than left?
No, I like left turns better than right.
Alright, we'll try another left turn. We'll do another left turn to 220.
Dragonfly, Charger flight.
Dragonflight, go ahead, Charger.
Where you guys at?
1 sec, let me look at that. Maintain heading, Dragonflight. Charger, this is Dragonflight. We're at 202 radio from Nellis 58.9 nautical miles.
Roger that. We're over here by Mesquite. You guys still doing cruise, or you guys moving into tactical formation?
We're just finishing up cruise right now. We've done cruise turns into and away. You want to form up on a radio? My F10 map is not working, so.
It's all good. We are. Stand by. Zero 039 for 82 from Nellis.
Alright, let's do 049 radio at, we'll just do 40 nautical miles from Nellis. This will give us a chance to practice cruise. Alright, so we're going to come left to, we'll do 160, or 210.
210, Dragon 1.
Nicely done. Charger flight will meet at Angels 10.
Angels 10.
And that's 04's 9. I believe it's away. Just whatever's on the actual HSI. Dragonflight left heading 180.
180, Dragon 12.
Charger flight, say your radio.
Charter flight radio 050469.
Dragonflight copies. Alright, Dragonflight turn left heading 09, or actually we'll do 110.
110, Dragon 12.
And just circle at 250 knots on that radio, Charger flight.
Radio Dragonflight.
We're at 193. I think it's away, so I think I'm turning in the wrong direction here.
Roger that, we'll keep chasing you.
Yeah, we're 049 away. Roger, it's 049 away. Alright, Dragonflight, I want to come in from the south on this, so we're going to turn right heading 220, just get a little bit further south from 40 miles.
220, Dragon 1-2.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I was looking down at my HSI. Alright, let's go ahead and climb Aegis 10. Shallow climb. And then we're going to come left to 140 in about 5 nautical miles. Alright, leveling out on Aegis 10. Left heading 140.
140, Dragon 1-2.
Dragon 1 flight to charger flight.
Charger flight, go.
Say your radio and distance.
Current radio is 075 for 47.
Roger. We're radio 218 for 27, but course set is 049 away.
Roger that. We're heading back to the Dallas area, and then I have to RTB.
Roger. Oh, you guys have to head out? You gotta head out?
Yeah, Roger. I have work in the morning.
Okay. Hey, Frodo, are you with them? Frodo, do you want to jump in? Frodo, you still on? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Alright, we'll go ahead and practice some tack turns. I think it's the cruise turns you got down. Alright, so we'll go combat spread to the right. So go ahead and switch over to the right on cruise real quick. Charger flight, this is Dragon flight. How copy?
Dragonflight, Charger 1-1. Just spoke with Charger 1-2. He's changing his counts to 305 and 5 forward for internal. Hand him off to you. He did great. We went through shackle, we went through cross turns, check right, check left, all that stuff.
Roger. Awesome.
And with that, I'm going to RTB.
Alright, have a good night then.
You too. Charger 1-2, checking in on 5-4.
Region 5x5 on 5-4. Dragon 1-1.
I'll let you figure out where they're at. Dragon 1-1, say TACAM.
Current TACAN is 248 to 8.5. We'll just meet you over in Ellis. And you'll be Dragon 1-3.
Dragon 1-3.
So just circle 250 at Angels 10 over Nellis and we'll meet up with you.
3 inbound.
Dragon flight, Dragon 1-2 heading 250.
250, Dragon 1-2. Dragon 1112, visual on you by 3 o'clock, approximate 15 miles.
Dragon 1-1 copies. Visual. Leveling out, heading 250. You still have vision? attack can is set to 77 for you.
Chopper's up, got you at 8.4. You want me to rejoin on you?
Yeah, rejoin, and then you can do chase. We haven't run through combat spread, so if you want to just chase and just kind of give feedback to Scarecrow, that'd be awesome.
Yep, roger that. We'll set up 2 mile trail. Give me about 45 seconds.
Dragon 1 copies. Dragon 1-2, go right echelon.
Right echelon 1-2.
Dragonfly, we're going to turn right heading 320.
320, Dragon 1-2.
Dragon 116.
300.
Reset, 1 mile trail.
Heading 320. Dragon 1-3, form up left echelon.
Okay.
How you guys doing over there?
Struggling. Mostly me.
No, we're doing fine.
Scarecrow's got it down, I think. He's doing pretty good.
We're just trying to figure out the energy for a combat turn, you know, at a separated turn to, you know, where you turn.
Yeah, 70-degree bank and then 3 Gs.
Right.
And just leave your power, 3 Gs, and leave your power set.
Well, I just tried to do that, and I can tell you I fell out of the sky.
Like I said, I think you did more than 90 degrees.
Dragon
But
1-3,
we'll try
stay
to
position. Oh, I gotcha. Dragonfly, turn right, 360.
Oh, okay.
260, Dragon 1-2.
Now we gotta wait for Dragon 1-3 to say.
37.
Alright, so when I say Dragon Flight, and I'll say 360, until the last person says, so just say your call sign, Dragon 1-2, Dragon 1-3, and when Dragon 1-3 calls, then we'll make the turn. So Dragon Flight, 360.
360, Dragon 1-2.
3603.
Levening, 360. And Dragon 1-3, I normally don't make leveling calls, just expect 5 degrees off, we'll start leveling. And Dragon 1-3, since you don't really have a partner, you can kind of follow the same thing, just switch sides. But if you want to follow trail, I'm going to have Scarecrow go off to the right 1 nautical mile. So Scarecrow, what you're going to do is you're going to head 020, you're going to increase your knots to 320, and then look at the tack can, and you should be off of me for 1 nautical mile.
Copy.
And step up 1,000 feet, so you'll be at 11,000 feet.
Turn it.
He's going 1 mile, Charlie.
Dragon 1-2, combat spread.
Combat spread 1-2.
Hopefully your attack hand's working. Mine's not showing anything.
0.4, 0.5, climbing.
Alright, I just reset mine. It's working now. Alright, pull back on power. Alright, heading 000.
Tack hand froze at 0.5.
Roger, I got you at 0.9. So just get a good look at this. Just hit on and off on it and it'll reset. You're acute now, so you're gonna have to slow down a little bit. You're in front of me. Did you reduce your speed to 300?
Copy, it's coming down. Tack point.
Yeah. Did that come back after you turned it on and off?
Came back, still not moving to it.
You had 0.9?
Negative, I'm showing 1.6.
I'm at 1.0. Alright, this looks good enough though. We're just getting it back to a beam. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to do a tack turn right. It's going to be 090 as our heading. So I'm going to cross underneath you. And when you see me go almost behind you, you're going to start your 70-degree bank and just pull about 3 Gs to 90 degrees, 090. Dragon flight, tack turn 090.
Tack turn 090, Dragon 1-2.
Alright, look out your right, you should see me pretty much a beam. And I'm increasing my speed back to 300.
2 copies, visual.
Alright, so we're going to do a tack turn. This time it's going to be, we'll go to 180 and you're going to turn into me. And then I'll follow you. So, Dragon flight, tack turn, 180.
Tack turn right, 180, Dragon 1-2.
Make sure you dip your nose underneath me. showing 0.9.
On the money.
How's that looking, Frodo?
It looks really good. The roll is nice and smooth. Roll's nice and smooth. Looks good.
All right, so I'm gonna have you jump in. Well, let's do a shackle with him real quick, and then after we do a shackle, I'll have you jump in, Frodo, and then you two can do some tack turns and some cruise turns, and I'll chase. So Dragon 1-2 a shackle, basically the same thing that we did there, but we're gonna both turn in at the same time. And as we cross, we're gonna turn back and maintain 180, and we should maintain separation as well. Dragon flight, shackle.
Shackle, Dragon 1-2.
Are you pulling 3 Gs there?
Negative,
Yeah, you kind of went ahead of me a little bit.
you gotta wait for me.
Yeah, I'm slightly behind you now. Yeah, you got to make sure you pull almost like you're doing a 90-degree turn, and so we're crossing pretty close. Let me get back up cute to you. So go ahead, just hold that heading 180. Try this one more time. We're at 1.1 right now, so that's not too bad. So you want to kind of do, all right, you ready? Just do 3G turn. All right, so hold on one sec. Slow it down. All right, Dragon flight, shackle.
Shackle, Dragon 1-2.
All right, that was much better. 0.9, right on speed. All right, let's Dragon flight, cruise formation. And then Frodo, have you had a chance to do lead yet?
Not with this squadron, but I'm comfortable with it.
All right, we'll let you do lead, and then we'll also give Scarecrow some lead too. Form up right echelon, and then we'll Dragon 1-3 form left echelon. Dragon 1-2, how do you feel? Dragon 1-2, do you feel like you're getting this, or makes sense?
Sorry, my bad. I thought you said Dragon 1-3. Yeah, no, I feel good. Last quadrant I was in, they hammered tack form pretty good, so this is just kicking off the rest for me.
Cool.
3-7.
Alright, see if you can bring it in. Whoa. Alright, that was weird. Bring it in a little bit, Dragon 1-3. Alright, Dragon 1-3, you go ahead and take the lead.
Who's got lead?
Dragon 1-1's going to drop back. Dragon 1-2, you form up on Dragon 1-3.
1-2 copy.
Dragon 1-1's in chase position.
Eyes on both. Alright, 2, go combat spread. Combat spread 2. Request change to 774 Tack Turn.
I think there's another group on 7-4.
I need you to switch over to 7-7.
Why don't you guys switch to 7-8?
Alright, Dragon to 7-8 on Tack Turn. Dragon 1-2, 7. Alright, got you 1.3. Check confirm. Alright, Dragon Flight Shackle. Shackle Dragon 1-2. Not bad. Were you pulling any G's on that at all? Say again? Were you pulling any G's on that, or were you just rolling over 30 degrees and letting it turn? I was pulling 30 G's, 30 degrees of bank to get into the 45, and then I let it roll through there until I saw you cross, and then back the other way. Nice. One, did you guys do any cross turns or anything like that?
No, we haven't done cross turns yet. But did you? How many G's did you guys pull on that?
Dragon 1-2, pull 3 G. I had about 4.5.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, we didn't do cross turns or in place turns yet.
Dragon 1-2 is familiar with them. I lost a little speed there. Let me punch up a little bit and we'll do a cross turn here. Dragon 1, 3 speed. Shooting for 300. Copy. Alright, there's 300. Dragon flight, cross turn, Dragon 1-1 low.
Cross turn, Dragon 1-2, high.
Everyone's rolled out due north.
2. Two's close in the distance.
Roger that.
Yeah, how much were you pulling?
I'm holding about 2.5, 3 Gs the whole way.
Good night, guys. Love you.
Settle.
Visual. And one, what's your verbiage for the in-place turns where turn into wingman, turn away from wingman?
I'd just say reverse. I don't think we have one settled. What did you guys use?
We just called it 90 right, 90 left, and depending on who was on the outside of the call, they would turn first.
Are you doing 90-degree turn? Because I just do tack turn right. Or just tack 90. Or tack 0, the heading. So like tack 090 for a tack turn. And then if you want to, you can do tack right 180.
Alright, and then that one he would turn first, and then I would follow behind him.
Well, an in-place turn, you're both going to turn at the same time.
Yes, and that would put me in lead and hit the trail. I'm trying to do it where we come out in the same formation, position switched, heading 90 degrees.
If you're doing position switch, I don't know if that's really a... So an in-place turn, you can do that 90, you can try that. But what I was reading in place was 180, but you can try that. You're going to have to do less bank than that. Yeah, you can try that. Let's see how that goes.
Alright, so this is what I want you to do. When I call 90 right now, I want you to come right, pulling 3 Gs, same altitude, heading
Right.
090.
Copy, it's in place 90, 090.
Dragon flight 90 right now.
So you're going to have to use your speed.
You shouldn't.
I guess it's the tack turn because he crossed over. That's not an in-place turn.
Right. One's right about 090.
Yeah, that's just a tack right, 090.
Okay, so tack right, that's what you guys call them. Okay.
Yeah, and that's not really an in-place because he swapped positions, so now he's on your right instead of your left. An in-place turn's usually like a 180-degree reversal, and you guys stay on the same side, essentially. At least that's what it says. Tack turn right is 0. Call your heading at that. But if you want to try a tack 180,
Yeah, we always call those hook turns. Alright,
yeah, hook turn was fine too. We just say tack right 090 or something.
So
Say again, stepped up.
Dragonflight, hook 180 left.
Hook 180 left. Dragon 12.
I already screwed that up. Moving on the rudder. Correction, head 270.
270, Dragon 12.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about using the degrees in that, because you get confused between if you're turning 180 degrees back or if you're going to switch to the heading 180.
Yeah, it's good practice though, because if you do something that's not 90. So if you do 60 or 70.
Alright guys, I gotta go to work. Thank you, Flo. Wealth of information. Sinai, you're the man. Thanks for your patience.
Oh, dude, no problem. Like I said, we'll go over the documentation and we'll figure out what we want. Those other turns we want to practice.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Right on.
Have a good time. That's it.
Alright, let's form up on 3.
Oh,
Don't shoot him.
Formation.
3, you got lead, full formation.
Echelon left.
Second left.
Dragonflight, rejoin Echelon left.
Echelon left, Dragon 12.
Dragon 11, echelon.
You want me to take us on?
Yep. Bring us in.
Alright, our recovery is going to be a 2-1 right, overhead, 350 knots, 1,500 feet AGL, full stop.
One side.
Copy.
Alright, I got eyes on both of you. Let's go ahead and take it down to 8,500 feet.
Do you want parade or cruise?
Parade's fine. Cruise, either way, I don't care. We're going to be making a couple of right-hand turns. One of them's going to be a little sporty, getting on final heading. And one's checking right for 080, 30 degrees. And leveling off 8,500.
Dragon 127, FPS issues. I'm going to fall back. I don't want to accidentally hit you guys.
350 knots, Angels 8.3. Do a little abbreviated strike recovery here.
So you guys did pattern altitude of 1500?
Yeah, we were doing the well, Nellis's pattern work is all inbounds are 1,500 feet to the break. Alright, checking right for 080, descending 4,500 feet, 350 knots. 1-2. Yeah, we're on course here, so I'm going to wheel out about 050 for a minute, and then we're going to do a right-hand turn for final. Alright, checking right 30 degrees for final, runway heading. That was Dragon Flight 318 inbound, Apex 21 right over.
Altitude. Altitude.
Gonna overshoot just a little bit. Sorry about that, fellas. Sending for 1,500 feet AGL.
Dragon 1-2 is breaking off formation. I'm not going to be able to stay with you guys with this equipment.
Dragon 1-2, you still straight in on 2 left if you want.
Negative, I'll follow you guys in on the break. I'll just be extended.
That was Dragon Flight 318's final, 2 miles, 21 right over. It's been a while since I've flown that recovery and we were way off. Dragon Flight in a break.
Dragon 1 in the break.
Dragon 1-2 in the break.
That was Dragon 03, right base gear, 2 and right, full stop.
Ellis, Tower, Dragon 1 in the base, 2 21 right, full stop.
Second right.
One has left.
Left right.
Nose control, Dragon 1-2, turning right base final, runway 21 left, 3 green.
One down safe, no crosswind.
2 down safe.
Brakes.
Two on the brakes.
Dragon 1-2, touchdown.
Dallas Dragon 1-3, clear active 2 on right for Alpha Nova VR.
Dragon 1 on the clear, runway 2 right. Multi-side button. You going again?
No, I'm just going to configure for recovery and then I'm going to go park.
Oh, you don't want to do formation? You want to land?
Oh, that could happen. No, you go ahead. I'll stay in track.
Dallas Dragon 1-3, taxi row 18 for parking.
Dragon 1-2, clear runway 21 right, taxi for shutdown. Alrighty boys, I'm out for the night, but good flying with you.
Yeah, that was a good flight, guys.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
You guys taking off? On runway 3 right?
Negative. We just taxied the ship down.
Okay, because I was about to land at 2-1 right. I mean 2-1 left, and I noticed that there was traffic on it.
Now we're off.
Yeah, we just landed, emergency landed there, coming from the other.
All
We're
right,
kind of out of fuel.
Okay, I aborted, so I'm coming back around. You want me to land on 2-1 right?
Runway's clear.
Okay.
You still around, Frodo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
When these guys get done, I'll leave the server. I can't leave yet. So how'd you do with Thud?
That's weird, it won't come back in.
Frodo, how'd you do with Thud?
Oh, we did good. It was a good refresher for me. He knows the stuff, so I just got to learn the different calls you guys make for the turns instead of what I'm used to. But other than that, it was great.
Yeah, I'm looking at the, so they say like hammer tack left is 090. That's for, I say 090 because if you do something that's not that, you know it. And then in the book it says per Pat Pod 1288, it has in place turn is an engaging turn that changes flow heading by 180 degrees.
Okay.
So that's, at least that's what it is in the training manual. Tack turn, what do they say? Tack turn is an engaging turn in which flow heading changes by 90 degrees. But then later on they say they'll practice like random tack form maneuvering, or they do in-place turns to 150 or 210 degrees from original heading.
Yeah.
Just a lot of numbers to remember. I'm going to have to study.
Yeah, I just got to learn, like I said, the nomenclature, right? Your tack turns are always 90 degrees.
So the way it works is in-place turns are anything that's 150 to 210, right? So if you're doing anywhere between 60 and 120, those are tack turns. So that's why I always call out degrees heading.
Hot mic frags.
So this is according to the manual. It says tack turns to 60 or 120 degrees from the original heading would be executing. Tack turns into wing less than 90 degrees. Tack turns into wing greater than 90 degrees. So you just got to be careful being sucked with a greater than 90 and acute on a 90, less than 90. And then offensive combat spread is 1.2 to 1.5 plus or minus 3,000. And then defensive combat spread is basically 0.8 to 1.0 plus or minus 1,000.
Yep.
All right. Since I don't have the manual in front of me, I need to check numbers on these turns. Okay, like a tack turn left. What's the G? Is that going to be the 3?
Yeah, that's the 3G tack turn. Is that what
Okay.
you did, Frodo, in your old squadron?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, we were flying the A10, so the G's are a little different, but yeah, I think that's what it was.
Then for an in-place turn where you're turning 180 degrees, is that going to be a 6G?
I think it's the same units. They talk about 14 units for the in-place turn, and I believe a tack turn is 14 units too.
Well, when we were doing the tack turn, we did 3Gs. We end up about 4 to 5 miles apart from each other. The only way we can even get close to being just staying within a mile, and we weren't being able to stay a mile, was doing a 6.
Yeah, we were doing a cross, though. So we're maintaining 350 knots, doing a cross turn of a 180, right? So we had to maintain a 6G turn all the way around.
Were you guys crossing?
We did cross.
Yes.
All right, so
Recluse and I had the exact same problem. We wound up way too far, like 1.5, 1.6 if we did it. And so somebody's got to turn tighter.
Yeah,
well, we were doing
Wings should overbank, maintaining 17, so they're about that'd probably be about, I'd say probably about 5 to 6 Gs, maybe 4.5 to 5.
Yeah, we were trying to maintain 6 Gs, and we'd come out about 1.5 miles.
Yeah, so that one worked out better when we did the cross at 6 Gs, right? And then we would do our tack turns at 3 Gs, maintaining 350 knots.
Frodo, what did you guys do your your cross turns with? I thought it was 3 to 4.5, right?
It was, but the lead always held 45 degrees in the turn, 3 Gs at 250 knots. The wingman would adjust after the cross to ensure the correct spacing. So sometimes he would wind up pulling 3.5 to 4. Because the mathematics of doing a 350 knot turn at 30 degrees, your turning circle's about 7.5 miles. So you're not going to be able to maintain that same spacing if you're going the opposite directions.
Right, that's what I was telling Recluse. You got to really just kind of reference off of your lead as to whether you need to pull tighter or looser and try to keep that spacing.
Well,
you can't
if you start
just
the same, right? If you start your turn, roll at 70 degrees, 3 Gs, 350 knots, when you cross is where you have the problem because you're closing at the exact same architecture. Once you cross, now you're separating yourselves, but if lead stays the same, 2 can increase his pull to adjust and roll out right around 1.2, 1.5, which is what I was doing.
Well, if you both pull at 3 Gs and 70 degree bank, you should literally come back to the same spot as long as you hold it all the way through.
If you're turning the same direction, I think that's true. I don't think it's the same if you're turning opposite directions.
Why would
in the same
crossing underneath each other? It should be the same. Like if you're a beam and truly a beam, and you both bank 70 degrees at the same time and hold 3 Gs the whole time, you should cross pretty much underneath each other. Now, are you going to get perfect? No, but you adjust based on, hey, I was in front of him, so I need to relax, or I was behind him, so I need to pull a little bit more, right?
I remember the graph showing that that the wing, after completing coming to heading, he would continue the turn of the heading to come back toward the lead. He would have, and I guess that would be acceptable.
Right, he would if his turn was outside the thing, but if you're both pulling 6 Gs at 350, right? If you're doing 250, a 3G turn is probably sufficient, right?
Well,
3.5.
The reason why is because when you do a left-hand turn and a right-hand turn, you're obviously swapping spaces, so whatever your distance was before, it's going to be half of that, right? So you kind of have to come back in a little bit because you're crossing, each side's taking a little bit further out on each one, right?
Right. So our 6G turns ended us up pretty close enough where we could adjust back in. But when we were doing 3G turns at 350, we were 5 miles from each other when we ended up 180.
So according to the book, it says once you guys pass safely, so once you pass underneath, then the wing should overbank briefly, maintaining 17 units, which would be probably about 4.5 Gs.
Yeah, but at what speed?
Well, we're holding speed, but technically you're supposed to maintain 300 knots, but we're just not for this part right now until we get good at it. We're not holding our speed.
Just make it easier for the flight lead. Wing, fix it.
Exactly. That's the responsibility.
That's the way I always fly, right? If I'm flying wing, it's my job to fix anything. Lead never screws up. I'm always out of position.
Wing just hold steady.
Lead should just hold 3.3 Gs.
And that's absolutely true. I agree with that.
Well, that's a true statement, but you don't want, fix it at 5 miles. You want to fix it at 1.5, 1.2, right? Give them some kind of thing, right? I mean, so we're trying to say that, hey, if I'm doing, as we were doing 350 knots and I'm doing a 6G turn and he's doing a 6G turn, we're both arcing at the same rate. We ended up almost close enough that he could readjust and move back in and still be on heading and on speed.
Yeah, but that would be the same.
We lost a lot
of 3G though.
No, it's not, because that's absolutely wrong. Because
rate of turn.
The rate of turn is the same. So if you're both doing it at 3 Gs, you're going to cross at the same time if you're doing 3 Gs. If you're doing 6 Gs together, you're turning at 6 Gs.
Okay, but what's the turning circle at 350 knots at 3 Gs? What's the radius of that turn?
That should be close to your maintaining energy. Because if you go 6 Gs, you're going to bleed off a lot of energy.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if you make a 30-degree turn at 350 knots, your turning circle radius is about 7.5 to 8 miles.
For 3 Gs?
Yeah, our Marshall is 5-mile turn, 250 knots at 30 degrees.
No, I'm not talking 30 degrees. I'm talking 70 degrees at 3 Gs.
It's okay, so that's going to be.
So I'm doing the
2.5 miles?
70 degrees.
See, we cross each other, and it's, that's like at the half-mile mark between our.
So you're obviously going to turn. You're going to turn because you guys are offset, right? So when I turn 3 degrees and you turn 3 degrees, we're going to be slightly to the right and left of where we started because of the fact that we're switching spots and we were offset before that, right? So
I know, but
you're going to be a mile, and that's why they say after the wing turns back in, after you complete that turn.
Yeah, but if he said that turn, that 70-degree turn at 350 knots is a 2.5 mile turn, right? And we're a mile apart, right? That's 5 miles minus a mile. We're still going to be 2 miles apart. We're still too far apart.
Yeah, but you should be able to do 7 degrees at 3 nautical miles. At least that's what we did earlier. I believe that's what you guys just did now. You and Scarecrow, right?
Well, it was me and Frags, but we were pulling the 6G turn would pull a lot of energy off, right? But we'd end up right where we want to be.
No, I'm saying Frodo and Scarecrow. You guys just did this, right?
Yes, and I was correcting.
And you were 3G though, right, when you started off the turn?
Starting off until the halfway point, I was 3G, 70-degree turn at 300 knots. Once we crossed, I adjusted on lead, and sometimes I was up to mil power at 5.5 Gs.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is you start out 3G, you cross, wing adjust and starts pulling 5 Gs. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is you start out 3, you should cross underneath each other. As you cross underneath, the wing needs to adjust and start pulling more Gs, which is 17 units. So 14 units is about 3 Gs, 17 units is 5 Gs. But that will get you back on course to the 1 mile. And you're going to kind of hook it in, so you're going to come in. And I just sent in the diagram for it.
Yeah, I think they got a point there, Doc.
All right.
I think I remember something about that in the video.
No, yeah,
Well-
he's absolutely 100% correct.
Well, frags, fix it.
Yes, sir.
Because you still want that 3G turn so you can hold that, because that's your energy, right? So if you go greater than 3Gs, you're going to bleed off even more speed. Like if you're
Unless
going
you
350 knots or
increase
400
the throttle.
knots, yeah, you can increase the throttle, but for this, just to keep it easy. But yeah, technically you should be keeping 300 knots through the whole turn, right?
We'll practice it again, Falcon, on Thursday.
And
Yeah,
you
that's what
fix
I
it.
was talking to Recluse about. We're going to keep
I'll
going
fix it.
Thursday. I think this is good that we're doing this.
Yeah, I think Scarecrow and Frodo, you guys have done it before. I don't think we've really had any issues. I mean, I think Scarecrow kind of messed up once on one of them where he just didn't bank enough and pull enough G's. But once we did the other one, what would you say, Frodo? It was pretty close.
Yeah, these things are all about repetition. It's about eyesight alignment and getting that sight picture to know what you need to do automatically. Like mathematically, you can't do the calculations in your head.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to the guys earlier. It's seat time, basically. And
Yep.
just
All right, everybody's out, right? Hey guys, you there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, everybody's out of the server, right?
I'm at work, but I'm listening.
All right, cool. Hold on. Let's see if I can get the tack view up here.
Yep. I think frags and I did pretty good. Most of our turns were good. The only one we had problems with was the shackle ended us up too far apart. And obviously the cross we were doing incorrectly, but still made it work.
Yeah, I think Scarecrow, you just had a little bit of... is Scarecrow on?
I'm back.
The first one that Scarecrow did, I don't think he did enough G's on that.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you guys can see that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so let's look at Thud here, since you guys did it quicker.
Oh, now you're going to see where I turned the wrong direction one time.
So you guys are combat spread here. Thud's either... You look a little acute there.
Yeah, I was
So that was a 90-degree tack turn. Or actually, that was kind of like an in-place turn. You guys didn't switch, right? So here, let's go back over here. We're doing cruise turns here. So here's a cruise turn. Should be coming up here shortly. Alright, so I bank, he banks less, he should go behind me. And then as soon as he gets behind me, he banks a little bit more.
So my question is, why would you switch sides?
Cruise turns, that's what you're supposed to do.
But
So in
usually,
that case, going from inside to out?
no, usually it's a cruise
outside
turn
the
and outside the end.
No, it's cruise turn away, you switch sides.
Is there a tactical reason for that? Or is it just...
Yeah, it's energy conservation, because think of a wheel. The aircraft on the inside is like the hub of the wheel. The aircraft on the outside is like the rim of the wheel. So the rim has to go faster in order to maintain. If you're doing a 90-degree turn to the left, the aircraft on the outside has to go faster in order to maintain with the other aircraft. So if you cross underneath and inside, now he's saving that energy. That other plane's already in that turn. You see what I'm saying? So you have less energy being expended.
So here's a cruise turn into a wing. So when you practice cruise turn, the wing, I'm turning into the wing. So I'm turning right at 30 degrees. The wing is turning at 10 to 15, and he's letting me cross in front of you. And by the time I cross in front of him, he basically just forms up on the outside of me, and he increases.
And that's showing a descent and then a climb, right?
Yeah, and the descent is basically to lower your nose behind him, right? And then you're climbing back up.
Right.
So we were doing like the opposite of that because the guy on the outside of the turn was going to the inside of the turn.
Right, and this is the correct way of doing a cruise turn. So like if I turn, and then we practice away turns too, right? So here I let him. That was me doing that. I switched over.
So aren't you using more energy by going from the inside to the outside?
No, because the inside guy has to slow down to stay with the guy, so I don't have to really slow down at all. Like literally, I hardly had to make any power changes whatsoever.
I see that.
Okay, that's interesting. I would think the same thing, and I would think the same thing. I was wondering why you would do this, and that's what I came up with.
Well, if you're in parade formation, right, and you're on the inside of a turn, your radius is smaller, so you have to reduce throttle, right? If you're on the outside of a turn in parade formation and you're doing a turn outside, you have to increase.
You have to increase, right, in order to keep it.
This kind of keeps it the same, right? Because you're basically, he's turning a little bit wider. You're kind of extending yours, but you're starting out turning smaller, but then you're extending it.
Okay, I always thought I would go outside to inside to do that, but okay.
But it's both ways. If you're inside, you swing outside. If you're outside, you swing in.
Yeah, you always, in cruise turns, you always swap positions, always.
Is that true for a four-ship as well?
So the four-ship they don't really talk about in that manual. That's in a different one, but we'll go over that next time.
I think
yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but what I think it is the four-ship, you still maintain your four-ship formation, balance formation, let's say, but you guys swap positions as well. So basically now you become a four right echelon from a left echelon.
You wouldn't do like 2 and 2?
No, I think so. I think if you're right echelon and a left echelon, then you kind of swap sides. Everybody swaps sides, right? But if you're doing
what is it? Is it like the aircraft on the what order would you go in?
Let me see if I can.
You'd have to go in flight order.
Yeah, it's basically flight. So you guys both turn and then you kind of swap. So the balance formation goes from left to right, right?
And so I would think it'd be the closest aircraft to the original would go around, and then the one on the outside, then everybody would come in and then just go one by one out further and further.
Yeah, I got to refresh. So here I'm taking lead again. Let's see if I can fast forward this to the turn. This one he kind of steps wide a little bit. So as he crossed, he didn't adjust. He needs to adjust a little bit quicker. So right when you're coming across, you should adjust quicker to stay closer. So you saw how, like right here, let me see.
Yeah, he swung wide and then had to come back in.
Let's see if I can do this here. Let's get to, so we'll watch Scarecrow here and then we'll go back to the one I did when I was on form. So notice how I started the turn, but he didn't turn soon enough. Now, as soon as he does that, he needs to bank sooner, right? So that's why I went right. If we go back to mine,
his aircraft should be in view at all times. In other words, or your aircraft should be in view.
Right. So this is what it looks like for mine. Speed it up a little. See how I'm overbanking 30?
Right. Yeah, and you're just basically holding formation. You're just swapping left to right.
Yep. It's kind of like a cross under move.
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch it.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta get to work in the morning early, so I will catch you guys on tomorrow night.
Right,
Yeah, I do too. I gotta break off here.
Take care.
Yep, we're gonna keep going with this. This is great. Flo, thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Yeah, good
problem.
job, man.
You guys want to see some tack turns?
Yes.
All right, so you can, well, let me show you on a way turn real quick. So here's an away turn. Or no, that's an into turn. Hold on one sec. We should be doing way turns here shortly. Yeah, here's an away turn.
Repetition, that's what I'm looking for.
So in a away turn, he's going to bank more, right? So he's going to go more. He's about 45, 60. Now he went a little high. He needed to duck his nose a little bit, but then he's going to level out. All right, we'll try another one here. So this is Scarecrow. He's going on to the inside here. And notice how, right when he's starting to cross underneath me, notice how he kind of leveled out. And now he should go even less to stay right there.
So it's okay to swap it in this direction. This is what Sinai and I were doing. So I thought watch that first video. So that's cool.
Yeah, so this is what you guys should be doing.
Yep,
this.
yep.
And then here's another away turn. Show it from the outside this time. See how he's overbanked? And he starts to shallow it as he gets to the other side. And then he's pretty much right where he left off. All right, let's find some tack turns. I think we do a couple more of these and then we go meet up with Frodo here. All right, and then we do some combat spread here. So Scarecrow is going to go over to the right here. He got a little bit too far. We were having some tack hand problems. For some reason it doesn't work. Sometimes his works and sometimes mine works, and it was showing like his was showing 1.6, mine was showing 0.9, so it's kind of difficult. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Is that tack end being used by something else on the map?
Well, there's two set to 77, right? And I was set to 11, but I don't know.
If two of them there are set for 77, you'll track the nearest one. That's the problem doing that.
But he
Sorry, guys, I'm walking through the head end. Get quiet in a second.
That's all right. But I mean, he should see me, only me, right? So here's a tack turn to the right. He's a little ahead of me, but not too far. There we go. We're a beam now. Now we should end up 1.6, the same. But, I mean, that was pretty good, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's like a perfect 90 degrees. Slightly aft, but we adjust. And now this is a turn away from wing, so the wing starts to turn instead of me.
And those are 3G turns.
Those are 3G turn, 70-degree bank about.
Right, okay.
Now, yeah, that's where we got like confused. Like, now are we keeping airspeed or are we holding throttle position? Are we throttling up? Because like we couldn't get it to work, and then like I was kind of asking some questions, and then it was kind of like, well, I don't really know.
So in these turns, that's why I was saying just hold your throttle. Don't try and chase 300. We can try at 300, but you're both going to bleed off the same, right? So just after you make the turn, then accelerate to 300 and adjust. But technically, you should accelerate and try and keep 300 through the whole turn, but that's a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, keep it simple, stupid, right? So that's great. I need to review this book, man. I mean, it's really a lot of information. So
Yeah, and Cyanide and Frags and I did it for about 3 hours today, practicing.
Yep.
So, I mean, the more you practice, the better you get at it.
Well, that's what we really need, man, is just to keep practicing it. Look at these turns. They're fucking beautiful.
Look at this shackle here. Now this one we kind of got a little too far. Because I think he didn't pull as many G's, so I think he goes wide. So see how I'm more banked than he is there? And I could tell when we did this because he's way out in front of me. And
that's the shackle.
That's a shackle, yeah. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but he's a little bit more acute than it should have been.
I think Falcon and I are birds of a feather. We like going fast.
You like talking on the fucking community frequency too, don't you?
Oh, I apologize for that because last week I had trouble with the chat and the voice, and I had to remap my buttons, so I'm having to reload.
So here's another shackle, I think.
Because of my push to talk buttons were affecting me being able to talk to the tanker. It just totally screwed me up last week on the.
Oh, this was where we do. So on this one, what I do here is I reform. Everybody rejoins. And then I let Frodo take the lead here.
Can I ask a question, like, really quick? For that shackle, you guys were, like, a beam one another, or was that, like, a combat spread? Like,
yeah, that's combat spread. Shackle's more for combat spread. So just to show you here again.
Sorry.
So that's our first shackle where he didn't, you can see on this one, this is one where he didn't pull enough G's. So we're essentially a beam now.
So that's a good position?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit acute, but you're not going to be perfect, right? The distance is so great, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it comes a little bit like, but notice how much more I turn versus him. So he's way ahead on that. That was our first one. Now we're a beam. Now we're pulling the same G's. And that looks a lot better, right? So I come behind him. He comes in front of me. As we cross, we both turn. So that's what that should look like.
Looks good. Thanks.
So you're maintaining the same heading, so you can see there. Our position should be about the same, and the heading should be about the same.
Sure.
And then they're reforming on me. Then I let Frodo take the lead. So they go back combat spread. This is, I think they do, that was kind of a shackle. But one of them, I don't know if they didn't, I don't know what happened there, but you want to do about 3 Gs, but I think somebody was too fast, or they did something and I can't remember what we talked about. Then they do another shackle. And, oh no, this is a cross turn. So I'm doing chase, so don't ignore me. I'm the one that's behind everybody. So they've already crossed. Now notice I'm going to switch over. See how they're at 2.4? So technically the wing should have kept turning in, right? Keep turning in to make sure that you're in the same position. So they're much further out because he didn't increase his turn rate, but now he's doing it, right, to get back in position.
That's that hook.
Yeah, that's a hook, yeah. That's an in-place turn, really, which is 180 degrees. And then they do another one here. Oh no, this is a tack turn, right? But see how, like, he waited too long? And so he had to catch up. So you have to start the turn before they cross behind you. Now they're kind of doing, that was a hook right there, but somebody went too far. It would have been perfect if he would have leveled out, but he called out hook 180, which is like a 180 degree hook, but then he kept going to 180 degrees.
And what are the specifications for that hook?
So a hook is this, it's really just 3 Gs, 70 degree bank, right? And then just when you hit your headings, and you just straighten out. And it would have been fine, but he didn't straighten out.
Copy that.
But yeah, if you maintain the 3 Gs, you're fine. I think they do another one here. No, they reform. And then he started having some stuttering problems. And then this is, here's an example of a parade turn. So where you just stay in place, right? So that's more of a parade turn. But that requires a lot of work because you have to adjust throttle, you have to kind of keep your altitude the same. Oh, and we had to overcorrect there, so for us it was a little difficult there because he was doing a lot of G's. This is a better example of a parade turn.
I gotta get going, guys, man. Thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime.
Yep, definitely helpful.
All right, so here's a little bit easier parade turn. So that's what a parade turn looks like. All right, so let's look at some of you other guys here. All right, so it looks like you're doing a cross turn. So you see the geometry there was a little bit different. Now the wing should just keep pulling, right? But you guys level out, and that's why you're so far on a cross turn. So if you keep pulling, and then you do a descent, and then you come back, then you'll be right on. But that's how it should be.
So what are you looking for? Like 210 degrees and then back to the 180?
Yeah, so you keep pulling and just keep your eye on them, and then, so I'd go probably, yeah, like 210 and then come back. Like 220,
Okay.
Let's say, yeah, 210, 20 degrees, 10 degrees off. So 190, 200 probably is what I would do.
Okay.
A little bit easier.
And then are you increasing your airspeed by 10 knots to...
So technically, I think when you do these turns, you should keep your airspeed, but just for now, I would just leave it set at whatever you're started at, and then when you complete the turn, then increase your airspeed, adjust as you come out of that turn.
Okay.
So that's Frags and Falcon. Are either of them are here?
I'm here.
Frag.
Just show the one where he called one direction and I went the other.
So you guys went way wide there. But he didn't have 3 Gs. So if we look at this, let's see. This graph up here. Your Gs are off. So he wasn't pulling as many Gs as you were. Hold on, let me get that. Hold on. See how many Gs he was pulling? He was doing 5 Gs, you were doing 3. That's why you guys ended up. Because he had a really tight circle versus where you were.
Oh, isn't that really tight, sir?
Yeah, so you can look at the top screen here.
Well, which one's Frags and which one's Falcon?
So
Lesser
Frags did the tighter turn. So 5 Gs.
Okay, that's me.
You're doing 5 Gs. He was doing about 3 Gs.
And 3 is the standard, is that correct?
Yeah, 3 should be the standard. Now, as you cross, then you should increase the 5G. But you did it the opposite. You did 5G at the beginning instead of at the end.
Oh, it looks like I'm doing it all the way through.
No, you're doing 3Gs now, but you started out with 5Gs.
Am I on the left now?
You're on the left. You're on the right now. But that's why. Like, you should start out 3Gs, cross, and then you're going to start pulling those 5Gs. But you started out with 5Gs and then relax to 3Gs. That one you guys pretty much did both 5Gs. One did 4. But I think if you stay the same, and then even here you see how one guy pulled a little bit more Gs than the other for a little bit longer.
I think that's when we were trying to figure it out. That basically that's what we were doing, because the first time we did it light and we ended up so far apart, and so we were trying to figure out maybe we should be doing it.
All right, let's see Recluse here. So you're still on here.
You don't need to watch any of this. We were just doing cruise turns, really. And then I think there was something lost in translation when we were trying to do more of the spread turns.
All right, so you take lead.
I think we're just still flying out, probably.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so there you're set up. Now, see, you're really acute there, right? So that's going to be hard when you make the turn.
So you mean the angle that he's got on me, or
Yeah,
vice versa? I don't know.
Beam right here.
I'm on my phone, so okay.
So you should be a beam. And then that's where, did you do a turn and he didn't?
I think I definitely like overturned there, but it was because I bled off like a lot of airspeed. So I probably started with too much G's to start, and then it was like I was out of speed and.
So I think you did it right.
I
think you just kept going. You turned too much. So right now you're coming on your 90 degrees, right? You kept turning.
Okay.
So if you would have headed out on 90 degrees, you would have been fine. But you kept turning.
Yeah, this is all like super new to me, man. I need to look at the manual and read through a lot of this stuff, because like whenever you give something, like you taught somebody and then somebody teaches somebody else, like there's always stuff lost in translation, right? Like it's never.
Yeah, we could do a flight on that. That's not a problem.
Well, I mean, as long as I could debrief it, I just need to read that manual and get like a lot of the specs down in my head so that, you know, I know what the hell's going on. Because this was the first time I've ever looked at TAC form, was when you briefed that.
And watch that video too, so you get the visual of it too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I will, for sure, you know, absolutely.
Yeah, this is our first time too doing this. First day doing this for me.
Yeah, but we worked it out. I mean, we kind of worked through it today, just to kind of get it figured out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that was better. I mean, that one you just gotta, you know, let's see here. So, yeah, Cyanide just needed either turn earlier. I mean, you guys were really close. What are you? One?
Kind of step on it a little bit?
You're
like 3 Gs on his turn, or no?
Well, you're within a mile. You guys are really close. So that's going to be hard because you're not doing a 1 nautical mile. But when he does a turn, he's just got to step on the gas. Right? But I don't think he did a 3G turn either.
No, negative. We just both did 30 degree to keep just yeah. Like I wasn't reading the manual, man, and we were just trying to keep like because I wasn't sure. I'm asking him like, okay, do I keep a throttle setting or do I keep 300 knots? And he's like, well, I don't really know, and I'm bleeding a lot of energy, so that's an unknown for me. So I was thinking if we could just keep solid turns and keep as many variables the same, it might be a little bit better for tonight until I could read through the manual and take a lot of notes and figure out how the hell we're supposed to do these things.
Yeah, so you're 70. We'll go back to mine and Scarecrow's here.
I know that I'm going to be on every night unless I'm stuck working, and I'll make myself available. I'll put myself in a flight channel, even if I'm just playing single player, nobody's on at the moment. I'll put myself in the flight channel and put a message up. Hey, come contact me if you want.
All right, so
yeah, I mean, I'm on.
You see
sorry,
it's 70 degrees now. Oh, this might be a shackle. 3 Gs, even though it says 1.4. That's because we're switching. But I'm pretty much back on a G. I'm kind of going off of him, though. If you look at me, I'm using him as a reference and adjusting. All right, let me go back to one of our tack turns here.
Falcon and I had some real good tack turns.
Yeah, Frags, I'll take you up on that. I'm generally on from, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time to like close to 11 o'clock every night I could be on. So, I mean, I'll fly this as much as possible, for sure.
All right, so
this is the stuff we really need to get proficient in.
Here's a tack turn.
Yeah.
All right, we should be doing it here shortly. I think I'm catching up to him because he's a little ahead of me. So being a beam is important. So.
Okay.
All right, so when I slow down, we should be about a beam now. Now you can see I'm at 70 degrees. It should be about 3 Gs as we're crossing. And then I noticed I was going really far behind him already, so I kind of lessened a little bit, and then I'm already on my heading right there. So I'm almost done with my turn by the time he makes his turn.
And your G load was 3 Gs, and his was as well?
Yeah, it didn't show 3 Gs on here, but I know I was 3 Gs in the game.
Okay, yeah.
We'll do one more here. I think he'll do it, so I'll go from his screen.
And see, when we were doing like tack turns, he was like on a 45-degree angle off my wing too. So you want to be a beam, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you need to be a beam. So you can see he's at 1.7. It's actually 3 Gs. I'm almost positive he's 3 Gs. So he's crossing me. So he's going to level out, and I do my turn. There I'm at 3 Gs. And you'll see we're pretty much right on. .90 degrees.
Nice.
I mean, that's like a perfect 90-degree turn right there.
Yep.
And you're not going to be perfect, but we're not far off, right? And then we just reestablish a beam.
Yep. Okay. I think one thing that we had wrong there, like some of the turns we were doing flat, but some we were trying to be like really acute with them. And
now I could have increased my speed, and I would have probably been able to do it, but just to keep everybody the same. So we turn. He did less G's, so he didn't bleed off as much speed as I did. So that's part of the problem. But when we make the turn, I notice, oh wait, no, we're pretty good. All right, we'll see it from here. So there he goes across. He's not quite behind me, right? Boom, there it is. And that's how it should look, kind of. I'm a little behind him.
Yeah, a little behind him.
So he was a little fast, so I had to catch up to him. So I think he went a little bit fast on that. And then we'll do another one, I think. Oh, this is a shackle. So that's one way to keep it closer to is as the wing passes into you, just turn earlier before you cross. And one benefit of that is you always keep the other guy in sight as well. And that one he didn't do 3Gs, he only did a couple. So we'll do this again. Cross. And there we're leveled out pretty much directly abeam. And that was with 3G shackle. We'll do that from my view, what that looks like. So really trying to hit that 3G. It's kind of a feel too. Like I'm looking at him, okay, am I coming too far behind him? Am I pulling too far in front of him? Like he's in front of me, so I lessen the G's. Because I know I don't want to keep pulling behind him, right? And then we cross. And then we just keep that 2.0 G's. So it's also kind of a sight picture as well. But his sight picture is going to be different from mine, right?
What's your distance abeam there?
I think it's 1.1.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really click in this view, but you'll see here. So he's going to see me from behind him. Right, so there I go behind him. So, but that's kind of the idea, right? As you guys have switched, but we're essentially, if you look at our tracks, we're about the same, right?
Is that when you're doing that shackle? You're doing that 70-degree turn, but that's going to be like a 3G turn.
Yeah, 3G, and then you kind of adjust. If I think I'm right, that doesn't look right, I'll lessen it just to make sure we're crossing pretty similar.
Right, that's what you were saying there earlier.
But you can see that first one, how he didn't really pull hard. So you see that first shackle? This is why we got so different. He got ahead of me, is he didn't pull as hard as I did. So he kind of just did a 45. So that's why in the next one I didn't pull as hard that time. So I only did 2 Gs on that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of what you want to do.
It's good stuff.
But the thing is, once you guys get good at that, I mean, I call out headings and then you guys do whatever you do, and I don't even worry about that. I just focus on flying to my heading where I need to hit and do all the mission tasks, communications, and you guys just sit back and follow me. Or whoever the flight lead is. So if we practice this and everybody gets really good at it, then really all you're doing, I'm worrying about communications, making sure we're on time as flight lead, making sure we're where we need to be, when we need to be, and you guys are just doing your mission tasks like checking radar, checking that kind of stuff, right?
There is so much to do.
Yeah, really.
And the other thing is after you get good at this, then you put scenarios where you have a bandit coming in from your 7 o'clock, right? And then you do a tack turn left, 90 degrees left, and then you see how that engages the bandit, right?
See how the bandit responds, and then you respond.
Right, exactly. But you should be in a position at that point where if the bandit does choose one side or the other, and he engages it, then you can swing in behind your teammate and attack the bandit. So that's more advanced stuff, though. After you get the formation stuff down.
Get the formation stuff to where it becomes natural, which comes with practice.
Yeah. So, but that's pretty much it for that. But do you guys have anything else, or?
No, I'm good, man. I really appreciate the debrief, and going over this stuff again is going to help me keep a lot of the numbers in my head so that I'm more clear when we're out on a practice flight next time, and
yeah, once you get it down, once you do it once and you figure it out, then you're like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Once you see it and you do it once and you do it correctly once, and everything else is real easy.
And you got to get used to being with the person you're flying with too, so you get to know.
Yeah. Well,
it's a feel too, right? And you just kind of sense it based on the look. Oh, that looks weird, or that looks a little off. Let me lessen the bank.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta go use the restroom, but good flying with you tonight, and we'll see you later.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Appreciate the help.
All right, later, guys.